What's up, guys? Today we are playing Epic 7, and this one is all about Pain Pursuer Expedition. We're going for our Dagger Sicar achievements. The first one is 850,000, and you know me, we're going to go full auto. So this one takes very specific heroes without passive abilities, and heroes that can buff themselves. So let's go in and see what we can do. Now, because Pain Pursuer is very specialized, we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to go over some of the things that we have to consider when we're fighting this boss. The first thing is that she has isolation. Now, what this means is that you cannot buff or provide combat readiness or healing to anyone on the team. Now, this is going to be very important because you have to figure out a way to keep your heroes alive with just them, with just their own skills. And they do provide something called vampirism. Now, what this means is that you're going to want to use a lot of characters that deal a lot of damage, and they're going to keep themselves alive just by attacking. So this is going to be something that we really have to consider. The next thing is that they're going to provide seal, which means no passive effects are going to work. All your favorite heroes, all the amazing ones with their passives, just aren't going to cut it here. So you really have to dedicate some heroes to Pain Pursuer, or you're just not going to do a consistent amount of damage. I've seen it firsthand. I had to build characters I've never built before just to use here. And in some cases, I did find some characters that were fun to use, and in some cases, not so much. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. And the next thing is that, just like the rest of the expeditions, you must put a knight in the front row, and you cannot use any dark elemental heroes. So you have to use heroes in this one that don't get that elemental advantage, or she's going to blast them and she's just going to ruin your day. So let's see what we have when we're using these heroes in this expedition. Building up a knight came down to a real struggle. Which knights can I use that will give me things that I can use in this boss? We need someone who is self-buffing, but self-buffing that doesn't use a passive ability. We want someone who could potentially take buffs off the boss. We want someone who could potentially do like bring along one of their friends to hit hard. And we also wanted somebody who was going to provide the most synergy with the other teammates. Now, there aren't a lot that you can use, and the ones that I found are really going to be all fire. Adventurer Ras, Lilius, and Cecilia. Now, of these three, I only have Adventurer Ras built, so naturally he's the one that I use. This is the same Adventurer Ras I use for pretty much all of my expeditions, and he works out just great. I want to keep him on Aureus, even though I don't believe that he shares some of the damage here from the other characters because of isolation. This is going to increase his defense, and I don't really want to switch out artifacts all the time just for one thing or another, right? I want something that's going to blend all the time, and this is going to be the artifact that I'm going to choose to use. Now, I do have him at a plus 15 and plus 30, which of course is necessary, and we want to stack him up just like any of the other expeditions. So we want him at something 1200 or more defense, 21, 2, 3,000 health is just fine, and anything north of 200 speed is going to be good. Now, because this expedition has 100 effect resist, we want at least 85 effectiveness to give us our max chance to land our debuff, and then also to remove the buff on his S1. The next thing that we need are heroes who have debuffs. Particularly, we want speed, and we also want unable to be buffed. And there's two heroes that seem to be well fitted for this because they're the only two heroes that have those two things. The first one is going to be Cerise. She has decreased speed, obviously, but also she reduces buff duration by 1. So this is going to help out quite a lot to remove that defense buff that's on the boss. She also is unable to be buffed. Now, this is on a separate skill. So ideally, you would want somebody that goes first that applies the unable to be buffed, and that way the boss doesn't get that defense buff right away. But the way her kit works is she does S3 first, which means that if you have her as the fastest person on your team, that she's going to basically give the boss a defense buff, and then you have to remove it another way. One good benefit from her, and it's the same benefit that we have from Lilius, is that she brings a dual attack from a random ally. Now, it's not quite as good as some of our other heroes that bring the ally with the most attack, but if you stack quite a bit of attack on your allies and they do good damage, then it doesn't really matter who she brings as long as she doesn't bring the knight, which of course can happen because RNG is RNG. And then thirdly, or fourthly, or really fifthly, because she's a nice looking character, we have the Miss Confili. It's an artifact. It's a limited artifact, so this one you might not have, but it's going to give you a chance to decrease defense when she does a single target attack. You can also use something like Song of Stars, and that'll give you the target debuff, and that will enable her to apply more damage when the other allies hit, which is also pretty good. And to be honest, that would probably be better in this situation, but I want to have that defense break, and I use her for the Dark Boss, where that defense break is sometimes necessary. What do you want out of her? Well, you need, again, at least 85% effectiveness because we're applying those debuffs and removing buffs. You want her to have some speed, doesn't really matter how much, and then I would really just stack everything else into attack. This is an old build. Ideally, what I would do is I would lower her speed, and then I would increase her damage. This has a critical hit chance necklace, and it is pretty good. There are some mages that I can use this on that would do fairly well, right? But I think that you want to build her similar to Rand. You want to put on her the attack stats and some speed, but she doesn't have to be super duper fast in order to be effective. Then we have Carmen Rhodes. Now, I built her specifically for this expedition, and I wanted a mage. Not only does she have the 2 debuffs that we listed, but she's able to hold Bloody Rose. So this is going to give her the additional Vampiric Touch to help keep our characters alive. And this is going to be very important, I think, especially when we're trying to deal big damage without having everyone die. She does bring the same Unable to be buffed, and she has it on turn 1. So this is going to be really good if you cycle her first, because then she'll have Unable to be buffed and they won't get that defense buff. But very likely, you're going to run a faster Cerise, or even a Zeria would probably work here as well, because she'll apply the Unable to be buffed right away. You also have decreased speed here and increased speed, and I think somewhere around here she has the Dispelling All Buffs. Oh, here you go. Dispelling All Buffs. So what this does is this going to be good when she uses her S3. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, so it's super fast, and she's going to be able to remove that defense buff once it comes up on the boss. Also, she does great damage. So at this, typical attacker stats, you want something around 3,000, 3,200 or more attack. Something around 170, 180 to 200 speed is fine. And then you want attack and crit damage, and again, at least 85 effectiveness. I built her specifically to do this boss. So these are stats that maybe you don't want to waste and put on Carmainrose, but I've ended up using her in a lot of places, and she does really well. Now for our last slot, we want someone who's gonna bring damage, but also bring utility to the team, and that's gonna be Adin. Adin. She's a episode 4 hero, little ninja girl. She does pretty good. She has a great animation as well, and I like her a lot. Now they give you the materials to plus 15 and plus 30 inside the 4th episode, so you really have no reason not to use her, right? I'm using the green version. I haven't really done the other changes, and so this is just the one that I use because I like to use her in a lot of different content, and so I really don't want to change it up. Now what I want from her is just normal stats, basically. We want something around 85 effectiveness if we can, and everything else is going to be standard build. You can get her onto higher damage and less speed if you'd like, but I would run her something at 275 or more crit damage, 100 if you can on crit chance, but at least 85, and then you want to put all the rest into speed and attack. One thing I really like that she does is she does an unable to be buffed, and then she also does a defense break. So we have quite a few characters now who are providing that defense break, and quite a few characters that have unable to be buffed, just in case they get resisted. I also ran Mercenary Helga. I built her. I thought it'd be kind of cool. She's kind of a cool sort of rebellious character, and she did pretty well. When I put her as my 4th hero, they're doing 700, 800k full auto every single time, and I never have to worry about getting points and doing my fair share. She also brings a buff for effectiveness and attack, and she brings a defense break, which is really good. And she does great damage. I think that for all 3 of these characters, penetration set is a good place to use. But now, as you see, I have her on free attack set gear, and she works out just fine, just like this. I wanted somewhere to put this resist gear, but penetration set did work better. I tried this out just for fun, but pen did work a lot better, and I think I put that on someone else. But again, 85 effectiveness, you want some decent crit and crit damage, 170 to 200 speed is just fine, and then something around 3000 or more attack, and she's going to do good for you.
I will protect my people. How naive.
Be prepared. Here's the final strike.
Purifying flame. Burn away the evil.
I'll take you somewhere nice. So be good and follow me.
Sorry, but I have no intention of losing.
This won't be an easy fight.
I'm coming. Wind slash.
Help.
Here I go.
I'll destroy you.
Yeah.
Give up now. Assist me.
I got this. Where are you looking? I'm over here.
It can't be helped. This is going to hurt.
Why don't you beg for forgiveness? Oh, wait. It's already too late.
No destiny can stop me.
This will hurt.
This way.
There's no escape.
Take this.
You owe me one. Let's go, let's go. Coming.
Help.
Focus.
Assist me.
I've got how persistent. Die already.
I didn't want to have to do this, but it seems I have no choice.
This is why you should have listened to me. You won't be able to dodge this.
How naive.
Son of light. Burn! turn.
You can't run from me.
Help.
Need help? I hope you're ready.
You owe me one. Assist me.
Over here. Where are you looking? I'm over here.
Sorry. But I have no intention of losing.
Wind slash. Why don't you beg for forgiveness? Oh, wait. It's already too late.
Give up now.
Here.
Leave it to me.
Yeah. I'll destroy you.
Help.
Here I go. Purifying flame. Burn away the evil.
Be prepared. Here's the final strike.
Assist me.
Focus.
This won't be an easy fight.
I've got
It can't be helped. This is going to hurt.
this will hurt.
Yeah.
I'll take you somewhere nice. So be good and follow me.
This way.